Hi, welcome to Spectrum of the Arts. Today we're taking you around Pinellas County with a focus on student visual and performing arts. Murals are springing up all over Pinellas County these days, in public schools as well as on private property. At Dixie Hollins High School, Amy Williams developed a project about determination and triumph, a collaboration between her and her students.
I've done a couple murals with kids in the past years. I've done one with a group of kids for Kenneth City, which is right down the street at one of their parks. And then Mr. Florio has asked me to do a couple around the school. So again, he came to me and said, Amy, how about painting another mural? So this time I wanted to do it a little bit different. So this is kind of what evolved from that. With this one, usually I have the kids develop the imagery and work on it and then do the actual painting. And with this one, I was like, I really want to make a piece that is about the kids for the kids. And so I took the driver's seat on this one and I developed the imagery. So this is a lot of my style and my imagery. And I walk the kids through the process of how I make it. And actually they're working on a project that kind of stems from this process as well. So developing the images using Photoshop, and these are actual students that have been either at Dixie previously or currently. And then we projected it, so I developed it in Photoshop and then we projected it. So we got here early in the morning and raced the sun to get it projected and drawn out, and then from there we filled in and painted by hand.
I was mostly a painter for this mural, but I of course helped with cleanup and mostly prep as well. The most difficult part for us as painters, I think, would probably be something that's not actually sort of related to the painting process, but was when we were drafting it from a projection, because of course the sun would make it fade, and it became harder and harder as later I got to draw it out. I found the most difficult part to be the relation in which the spaces that we were painting to the photos. Like, we had to carry small little cards of the people themselves so that we could figure out where our lines and where our colors went.
This we made part of a class. I have done murals with volunteer students, and as time progresses through the duration of a mural, your volunteers dwindle. So we made it a class project and they got participation points for it. Each day they had a task that they had to do during class and work, whether it was prep or painting or cleanup, or the whole shebang they were responsible for.
In a unique circumstance, current students not only played a role painting the mural, they also played a role in the mural.
I helped paint it, and I'm also portrayed onto the mural. I was just, chilling, and then the teacher's like, hey, pose for me. And so I posed, and then she was like, you're gonna be on the mural. And so I was like, hey, that's cool. I feel like a legend because I'll be on the school walls forever. So.
Rhea Sims, a senior at Dixie, explained part of the process.
Well, Miss Amy had to create the image at first. Then she had to use her projector to project it onto the wall. And we had to use graphite to trace the image so we could have something to work on. And then we would gather multiple shades of colors, like blues, white, gray, black, and we'd have to paint each individual shape, that color that was on the original paper.
I got to really create something that was unique and for the students, and that was about the students. Rarely, sometimes it's just something that is a beautiful adds beauty to the school or whatever, but I really wanted it to have a voice. These students are Dixie rebels, and they come with all sorts of issues and hurdles they have to overcome in their 4 years of high school, and I wanted this mural to be about that. And then the other thing is to show the students that I'm a working artist as well. And I think it's really important for them to be around working artists and to see me not only as a teacher, but as someone that does go out in the community and do work, and I do work on my own artwork, and how I show my voice through my own artwork.
A year ago, Justin McAllister, visual art teacher with PCCA at Gibbs High School, founded a club dedicated to joining forces with local business and community members in order to create murals throughout Pinellas County. The club has grown to more than 30 members. The club recently completed a 630 square foot mural in downtown St. Petersburg for the St. Pete Inc. Christopher Velez, who will be honored with a $10,000 2018 Scholastic Arts Award at New York's Carnegie Hall in June, is one of the students involved.
The art club or mural club, we haven't really decided which one, is sort of just a collective of students here who are artists and love doing art, especially in their community. And we go around and paint murals around the city. It's sort of like a student-led group who just loves doing art and loves making art in their community.
Originally, I had a club at my last teaching job in Saipan, in the Northern Mariana Islands, where we started doing murals with the community and the school with the kids. And moving here, I realized that how mural-friendly St. Petersburg is and how engaged the art community is here. So I put it out there to the kids to see if they wanted to do it, and we got a big reaction from all the kids. And they're all really, really good painters and good artists, so it's naturally they pick it right up. So we started to talk to some businesses and kind of went from there. The first mural that we did was inside at a Stonegate Mortgage Company, so that was really easy for us. No whole loops to jump through, but the second one was downtown right by the Tampa Bay's Tropicana. And they were really nervous about city code, so I went and I sat down with the city and discussed what we needed for signage and how permits work for murals, and they gave me all the information I needed to show the client, and that made them a lot more comfortable too. We did purchase a permit because we did paint, hand paint on their signs as well onto the mural. But other than that, the city's really friendly about doing murals, and you don't necessarily need a permit to do artwork on the building.
Mr. McAllister is the person who designs all the murals, and we usually have conversations about it, what we want it to be, what the client wants it to be, but usually we have free reign on the design. We try and incorporate what the building is used for. Like for the mural we're working on right now, it's a screen printing company. So we incorporated screen printing into the mural so that it would have some sort of, not signage, but meaning behind it. So it's usually what the building's used for or whatever we think looks the nicest.
We basically sit down and we talk about like what we're going to do and who our client, I suppose, is, and we come up with the like design and everything. And usually it's just Mr. McAllister coming up with the design, but we try and help out as much as possible.
We go as a group. Sometimes it's just me and Mr. McAllister if we're like tracing or stuff like that. But when we're painting the murals and setting up and stuff like that, everybody is there most of the time, so we go as a group.
In murals, you depend on looking from different perspectives of what you're doing, and because of how big it is, you kind of have to look from closer and then go away and see the details on your work. So you kind of depend. It's kind of like a long, short process of looking at it, going back, painting over it. You know, it's different from making normal art. You have the piece of paper or the canvas in front of you, and you decide what you want to do, where to work at, the details you want to work on. It's different because of the perspective and the size itself.
It wasn't as hard, but it was definitely different because painting on a smaller canvas is usually the norm, but it's not much you get to paint on a big wall as a freshman.
While painting on a wall is a somewhat different experience, it is just part of the process for PCCA students.
I do mostly realism pieces. I work a lot with acrylic. I never really got into watercolor or any of the other mediums, but acrylic really suits me.
I think I've proven with like different types of textures and how to use the paintbrush and getting familiarized with using the paintbrush to do different textures on a canvas or on a wall.
I think the best thing is like getting to know people. Like even if like they're in my environment, I won't really talk to people, but this kind of like gets you to talk to people and become friends with people like in your like group of like classmates and everything.
It helps a lot with experience on painting on different materials such as walls. It also gives like a good social experience.
I really want to illustrate the world. I want to illustrate ideas. I want to illustrate art. I want to illustrate the beauty of art and what you can do with it.
Public, I think that's one of the best parts to me is when you have people walking by and kind of cheering on the kids and everybody while they're working. You know, it's a really humbling response to get, and they feel really good about it too. So the public's been really supportive and really helpful, you know, it's been a lot of fun to show these kids that they can have an influence in their community and how well the community responds to what they do. So we want to be able to reach out and go into the community and kind of donate some murals in places too for some organizations. So any donation that comes in goes right into our account, and then we can use for either buying supplies like ladders or painting materials, and setting us up for future murals, as well as being able to donate some services to the community too.
For those of you who would like more information regarding the Gibbs Art Club's availability to create a mural for you, contact Justin McAllister. Use these addresses for Facebook, Instagram, or email.